You're listening to episode 18 of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Hey, I'm Eugene Sims, and I do appreciate you tuning in to the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Yeah, my numbers are growing, according to all the data that I'm seeing, so I'm happy about that. So I do appreciate you folks listening, following along on Twitter at Wheeler's Dog, also Instagram, Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Posted a picture of Lucy, our oldest, that had the medical emergency on Monday. So I'll tell you more about her a little bit later on, but, this whole virus thing, I'm not exactly bored just yet. I'm not stir crazy. No one in our house really is. I mean, the mill is kind of used to being at home all the time. She hardly ever leaves the house coat. Yesterday she got dressed. We didn't understand why. I never said anything about it. Just an odd thing. But as a matter of fact, this is the second attempt I've made at this particular episode, because when I started off, I got distracted because the mill was upstairs, which our bedroom is right above where I'm recording, and she was in there poking at that possum. You know what I mean? She's up there with a stick, just kind of poking at the Roomba that got stuck under the bed, because sometimes if it gets full or something like that, or just for no particular reason, it just shuts off. It does that from time to time. And chances are, whenever it's upstairs, it will do it under the bed. So, of course, this drives the mill crazy, which also has her poking at it like it's a possum on her back porch. Just, what was the sound effect I was using last time? Yeah. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like the WWE was up there wrestling without an audience. It's like, good God. So I had to get up, go check, and as soon as I get up there, she's coming out of our bedroom with Ruby. That's the Roomba's name. Ruby's in her hand, and she's exasperated. Just the look on her face, because, what she does is she gets like this dust broom, and she's like poking at it, and she's trying to push it over to the other side. Because, well, quite frankly, if she got down on the ground, chances are good she wouldn't be able to get back up. So let's be perfectly honest there. So instead of calling me or Matthew to do it, no, let's poke at it. Let's try to damage a $400 robotic cleaner, sweeper, whatever you want to call it. So Chigs is still working from home. So she's not, at least she's got something to take her mind off of 8 hours a day. Different little things. So, me, I'm coming up with different projects besides this podcast. I'm thinking about taking up a bluegrass instrument, maybe the mandolin or something like that. I want to put together a bluegrass band. We want to call ourselves, I want to call us the Brothers of the Broken Wind. Yeah. I put it out there on Facebook, seeing if anybody would be interested in joining the Brothers of the Broken Wind. So far, no takers. They're all passing. Anyway, Chigs continues working from home, and, she does a lot of video conferencing. Like right now, she's in a video meeting. I don't know what, to be honest. Sometimes she explains things, what she does, but I don't really know what she does, and it's kind of like listening to Charlie Brown's teacher sometimes. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's just, I don't really know what she does, and she can't talk about her work. You know what I mean? Everything's all hush-hush, confidential, that sort of thing. But sometimes she'll get on a long tirade about, what she's doing, and it's, like I said, Charlie Brown's teacher. Womp, 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 womp. Yes, dear. Womp, womp, womp. Oh, yeah. Yes. So, anyway, and like I said, these video conferences, they're pretty cool. I mean, occasionally I'll step in and say hey to the coworkers that, I know. Like this morning, she had a coworker on. I never met this guy before. I just kind of bent into the picture and waved and then, just left. Took my leave as they were all gathering for their daily 8:15 conference. And there's things I want to do behind her back, while she's doing these things. I just kind of want to walk behind her, stand there, take off my shirt to expose my over manly physique and just shotgun a can of beer or maybe have a rum bottle that's filled with water and just turn it up, 8:15 in the morning. That would be kind of cool. Maybe walk through, just kind of pass by and while I'm picking my nose. That would look cool. Like a finger's like really up there digging for gold. Stare at the screen, kind of like Abdullah the Butcher. It's a guy that's a professional wrestler. He didn't talk. He always had managers. That was his mouthpiece. And he would always look at the camera with wide, crazy eyes. And if somebody broke the gaze, he would look around them and keep that gaze as best as possible, because he was the kind of professional wrestler, even though you knew that it was not so, I don't want to say not so real, because, bumps are real. Lots of things in wrestling is real, but he would scare the crap out of people, because he was involved in a lot of violence, a lot of violent matches. It looked like somebody took an industrial cheese grater to his forehead. And from what I understand, one of the big scars in his forehead, he can hold a poker chip in it. So he was a scary dude. So I just kind of want to stare behind her at the screen, maybe while shoving a whole sandwich into my mouth. That would be kind of cool. Maybe again, take off my shirt and just start flexing, because I'm a big fat guy. So that would be kind of cool behind her. And get a sign that I write on there to tell people to call police, saying that I'm being held captive. That sort of thing. But, Chigs is like, honey, my job isn't like radio. We don't do silly things like that. Yeah, she dismisses things as silly in radio. But, hey, oh well, I'm trying to make her coworkers, trying to entertain them, trying to keep her happy as well. Now me, I tried to start a little work at home as well. Besides the podcast, I work at WTOB part-time and also work moving vehicles around. That I've taken some time off from because, they're rental vehicles. Lots of people touching them, that sort of thing. So I've taken some time off from that because that's a very risky thing for me to do, being, over 50, fat, asthmatic, and also other people in this house have asthma issues. Plus, the mill is 73 years old, and she's a prime candidate to die from this virus. So, just kind of stepped away from that. But WTOB, I thought that I would try to work from home, and we tried it. Just didn't work out. At least the one time we did. We just never got back to it. I didn't say anything. I figured, okay, well, maybe revenue's down, because I understand that businesses are pulling back their advertising because, hey, they don't have as much business as they did have. They're dying on the vine, so to speak. So I figured maybe the station was kind of saving a little money by not having me do something or, do my production duties once a week. But, over the weekend, we were sitting out in the yard with Bait and Bobby. Bait made this delicious seafood gumbo. And it was me, Chigs, in the mill, along with Bait and Bobby. And then the father-in-law, Jim, came up. So we were eating, socially distant from each other by at least 6 feet. We were honoring that. And we were listening to WTOB. And it was Surfside with Don Mark. Some Saturday afternoon, and the mill heard a song on there. She didn't even know who it was, so I didn't have the studio number for some stupid reason. It's not in my phone, so Bobby looked it up on Google, and the number was actually the business line, so it went straight to Bob Scarborough, my boss. So we talked about it, getting together the rest of the week, and turns out I'm just going to go ahead and in on Thursday. I mean, I have to make a grocery store supply run every Thursday, so why not do the two? You know, I can do that. So Thursday is going to be my day out. We can get all that done, and you know, it'll be nice to get out of the house a little bit. I do about 45 minutes to an hour's worth of work there, and it'd be nice to see some other people and, you know, still maintain the social distance thing, even with the coworkers.
Conversations on the Rocks is the podcast where the guest determines the topic, and it's hosted by me, Kristen Dokas. Download the latest episode from your favorite podcast service, grab your favorite cocktail or other beverage, settle in, and let's get to know each other.
And since we had the medical emergency with the old dog, Lucy, I have, again, if you haven't heard, she messed up a disc in her neck between the C3 and C4 vertebra in her neck, or vertebrae, whichever it is. And so our bedroom, she sleeps with us. Our bed is a very high bed. It's got like a box springs that's like super duper large. And then the other bed is super duper large. And it's a king size bed, but it's very tall. It sits on a platform kind of thing. And we have to put a stool up. It used to be, when we lived in King, we had carpeting on the bedroom floor. Well, Lucy could get some traction on there and just boom, that little 10-pound dog would just leap right up there and get on the bed. But then here, we've noticed, you know, she's getting older. She doesn't have as much traction because there's no carpet in there. It's all hardwood now. And so we had to put a chair so she could jump on top of the chair and then jump up on the bed. That's how tall it is. And I'm talking like a wicker kind of chair. So I have decided that, you know, with her neck or something, I don't want her to possibly re-injure herself. So I have taken to the game room. We have a sectional couch in there. And I've been sleeping out there the past couple of nights with Lucy. And yeah, I don't like it. I miss sleeping with the chigs. I miss sleeping with the dogs, both of them. But, you know, I think it's best for Lucy that she doesn't re-injure her neck. So I think it's a good idea. She's still doing well. She's kind of back to her old self. She's still a little groggy at times because I guess the painkillers and stuff. But she's doing very good, very good. And it's nice to see her improve because, quite honestly, I thought I was going to be burying that little bitch on Monday. But it turns out that, hey, she's going to stick around with us a little bit longer. And it kind of got me thinking about, you know, my dream house. My dream house. First of all, living room. It's going to be huge. It's going to be dark. And there's going to be a TV in there, whatever the massive size TV I could possibly have. You know, the kind of TV that if you open up the roof, you could see it from space. That sort of thing. That's the kind of TV I want in there, and have it dark and have everything that I can possibly want, from HBO, all those big pay channels, stuff like that. I don't want to say cable. I just want what I want. You know what I mean? And have unlimited resources to pay for it. Oh yeah, I'd have the HBOs, the Skinamaxes, the Showtimes, all that stuff. Epics. I'd have it all. Netflix, Amazon Prime. Love Netflix. Absolutely love it. And I would have surround sound system in there. I'd have it wired for everything. You know, streaming, that sort of thing. MP3s, even the turntable. I'd have a place for all my thousands of albums, so you could just go over and pick and choose whichever one you want. I'd also like a large shower. You know, I'm talking like a group shower. And water coming at you from all directions. That way it can get everywhere. You know, I think that would be cool. I'd like the bedroom to have like a big round bed and a huge television on the ceiling. That way you can just lay there and look straight up and watch television. I think that would be really cool. And then, going back to a game room, I'd like a really large game room for HeroClix, built especially for HeroClix. All the tables and everything. I'd have more than a few because lots of times we get a bunch of people together and play HeroClix. If you don't know what HeroClix is, just check it out online. If you know anything about comic book heroes, stuff like that, that's what it is. It's like little plastic miniatures with a click dial on the bottom. You've got defense powers, attack powers, movement rates, how you move, all these different things. And it's just a fun strategy game to play. And there's one other thing that I would put into my dream house. I would have it available everywhere there's a water source. You know what I'm talking about? Bathroom sink, kitchen sink, the big group shower. Anywhere that there's like running water, I'd want a separate spigot for ranch dressing. That's how much I love ranch dressing. I mean, you could have like a little taste anywhere. Let's say I'm in a big, huge bedroom and I'm laying there on that big round bed watching television and I'm eating, my expensive taste. I'm eating Tostino pizza rolls or whoever makes the pizza rolls. I remember in the 70s, they were Geno's and those things were nasty. I never ate them again until 10 years ago. Got on a real big kick. I tried them again because the boys ate them. And I was like, holy crap. These things are awesome. Yeah, I got on a kick. Yeah, let me tell you. And, but I would have ranch dressing. So if I'm sitting there or laying there eating those things and I need some ranch dressing for my pizza rolls, I can just kind of step into my personal bathroom and boom, there you go. I got a side of ranch. I would totally do that. Totally do that. And speaking of, playing HeroClix, the other thing is I can't get MP, the youngest here. I cannot get him to play HeroClix with me. It's something that we do with a couple of other jerks that we know by the name of Jonathan and Sean. I typically have really bad luck with rolls. As a matter of fact, I started keeping track of the rolls to see my percentage because you roll 2 dice to see if your attack happens or if you need to break away from somebody. You roll dice. That's how you do it. There's strategy to it, but there's also an element of luck in there. And I'm not so good when it comes to rolling dice. And then there's other strategies I want to play upon. There's other things I want to do and also work on defenses. And one of the best ways to do this, especially taking on Jonathan and Sean, Matthew's very good. He's no slouch. Cameron plays with us, or Cameroon. So we're trying to introduce some new players like Ben and his boys. Things just aren't cooperating with that, especially with this virus going around, trying to kill everybody, ruin the economy. I can't buy any HeroClix if I don't make any money. But I can't get Matthew to play with me. He's out of school basically. He's graduated. He just hasn't had the ceremony. Who knows if he will have the ceremony? I don't know. But he's gotten on this kick where he's been going fishing in the middle of the night. Apparently, for crappie, people go out and fish at night. He loves to fish. I personally don't understand it. Other than eating the fish, I don't care anything about it. Don't want to go fishing. Couldn't care less. As a matter of fact, there's stories I could tell you. Well, one quick one. The family made me go with my grandfather one time to go fishing. They thought I'd really enjoy it. I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay at home. Or I should stay at my grandmother's, watch television. And they're like, no, go with your grandfather. So we drove 45 minutes to this place. And I think we were there 30 minutes until my grandfather had had enough of me and decided to drive 45 minutes back to take me home. At least the ride felt like 45 minutes. I know it felt really long when he was taking me back because he was not happy. So then he plopped me out in the front yard and I went in the house and like, what are you doing here? I told you I didn't want to go. And he brought me back. And sure enough, before they could look outside, he was gone. He was back out fishing, but I don't quite understand it. So he's been staying up all night, and then on top of it, he's playing video games with his friends, and they stay up all night. Now, the past few days, he's been getting up. Like today and yesterday, he's working. So, yeah, and he's not telling his mother where he's at night. I mean, I realize he's almost 18, but, you know, with the stuff going on, you know, he needs to touch base a whole lot better than he is. So, yeah, but I just wish he'd play some HeroClix with me. I actually said last week, I was like, hey, how come you don't play some HeroClix with your dear old stepdad who does a lot for you? Yeah. Remember that time at the DMV you needed a parent or guardian? I rushed right over. I dropped what I was doing. So I'm trying every trick in the book to get him to play HeroClix.
Hey, this is Paul Stanley.
And this is Gene Simmons, and you're listening to the self-proclaimed bad boy and #1 Kiss fan, Eugene Sims, on Rock 92.
And if you didn't know, I'm a bit of a TV critic. I've always been a TV critic ever since I was a kid. You know, very passionate about television. And personally, I think there's a whole lot of great television out there right now. These days, lots of great television being made, but it's hard to kind of find exactly what you want. There's just so much of it out there, and that's what I love about it. Personally, I advise stay away from anything that's over-the-air networks, you know, CBS, ABC, NBC. Yeah, I would try some things, but overall, no. I mean, look at it. Look at the Emmy Awards, Golden Globes. How many over-the-air network TV shows are showing up? No. Those are generally made for the masses, and they're generally stupid. So I've gotten to a point where I don't even bother with network TV shows anymore. So that's just my opinion. As someone that's been on the radio talking about different TV shows with my critical eye, also the podcasts, The Less Desirables, I was the TV critic there. And Bruise Brothers is a new series that's on Netflix. Of course, you know, right from the get-go, the clip that you see, like if you go on Netflix and you know how you scan by something and it just starts playing a trailer? Well, the trailer started playing, and I just took it, and I was like, all right, let me take a look at this. Not once did I hear anything funny. But, you know, I had 30 minutes to kill, and I was like, all right, well, let me kill this 30 minutes before we meet everybody out for seafood gumbo. I'm going to watch this Bruise Brothers on Netflix. And, folks, save your time. It's terrible. It's basically about these brothers that have not talked to each other in a long time because they had a fight over beer. You know, whose beer was used to win the gold medal at a beer competition. One of them shows back up at the dude's brewery, and imagine, it's just beer snobbery, that sort of thing. And speaking as somebody who enjoys lots of beer, as a matter of fact, with my buddy Matt Clark and even Kristen Dokas, we used to have a show on WSJS that was Tar Heel Taps, where we talked about craft beer in the state of North Carolina and went out and talked to different brewery owners, brewmasters, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I know my way around a good beer. Also, I know my way around good comedy, and Bruise Brothers is not good comedy. So if you're thinking about starting it, just save your time. It's not very good. I think I got through 20 minutes of the first episode, and I was like, this is total crap. Total crap. That show is the comedy as Coors Light is the craft beer. Yeah, that's one good way to sum it up. Another show that I've gotten the Chigs hooked on, well, besides Ozark, yeah, she really got on board with that, and we finished it up over the weekend. I think Sunday we finally finished it up. Shocking ending. Unexpected ending. Did not see that coming, and lots of times I see things coming. Yeah. There was a character introduced on there that on the third season, spoiler alert. As soon as he came on, I told Chigs, I was like, hey, this cat's going to bag it before the end of the season. That's all he's here for. So, yeah, it turns out I was right. And then a show that we're watching on AMC right now is Dispatches from Elsewhere. It's a very interesting series. It's kind of a mind bender because you don't really know what's going on. You know, you have no clue as to what's going on. So I highly recommend Dispatches from Elsewhere. And Ozark, digging that. I also got to get caught up on Better Call Saul. I've gotten so far behind. Yeah. It looks like I am running out of time here. I do appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. Again, I'm Eugene Sims, and our dog Lucy, she's doing good. Hopefully she's going to get better, and she won't have any more issues again for a while. So, again, thanks to everybody. I know a lot of people have reached out to see how Lucy's doing, and I do appreciate it. And also thanks to Tim Beeman of the Less Desirables and all the other podcasts he's involved with on the TLD network. And again, check out Kristen's Conversation on the Rocks podcast. You've heard her here on episode 11, and she and I hosted Tar Heel Taps together. As a matter of fact, she's even hosted the afternoon show on WSGS before, and I produced it right there alongside of her. So check out her podcast. I think she's got 2 in the can right now. One with our buddy Blanca Cobb, world-renowned body language expert. That one's very interesting. So again, thanks to everybody for tuning in, checking out the podcast. It is greatly appreciated. And again, follow on Instagram, Wheeler's Dog Podcast. Follow on Twitter, @Wheeler's Dog, and give the Facebook page some love. Yeah, go ahead and do it. And feel free to post your reviews, whatever you want to do there. That would help me out quite a bit. And again, folks, I'm out of here. Shocking ending. Unexpected ending.